Boy, this thing is just so difficult to get recording, and to get the audio working, and all the little bells and whistles and features. Howdy, I'm Grey Pilgrim, and this is a Berthier carbine. The Berthier carbine was originally developed, I think, as a cavalry carbine, and it's a lovely little piece of ordnance, recently acquired. And the Berthier was a development that needed doing because it was hard to trim a French label down to a carbine length. It can be done, but at a cost. And anyway, the French came up with the label rifle in 1869 when they came up with the smokeless cartridge. The label had an under-the-barrel tube magazine, which was okay in 1869, but not so much in 1914 when they needed to use it for World War I. Well, they couldn't cut it down and make a carbine out of it of any use, so instead they developed this, which is something very similar to the Mannlicher box magazine system, in which the rounds and a full magazine were fed in here, and then when the last one was used, it would drop out of the bottom here. Then you'd insert another clip or magazine in the top, and away you'd go again. When they first came out with the Berthier, it only held 3 rounds. So it wasn't much, but it was better than nothing on a horseback. The only other thing you had was your saber. Anyway, I like the Berthier. I think it's a really nice system. Matter of fact, they liked it so much that later on in the war, because they were tooled up for this, remember, they'd made the label back in 1869. They made millions of them, and they didn't really have the tooling set up for it again in 1914, but they had just tooled up for this Berthier. So instead of making more labels for the Army, let me show you what they did. Take a look up here on the wall. See that at the top? That is a label rifle. That was their answer to building more rifles for the French military during World War I. Continue with the label, but make it in a rifle format. And to flip the script a bit, they cut down what they had in the way of labels and make carbines out of them. That's an R35 carbine. Later on, they developed this. This is the Moss 36. It's I think a 5-round. Clip-fed bolt action. That was what they lost at Maginot Line with. And this is a Moss 4956. This was their Cold War rifle after the end of World War II. It was based on the Moss 44, which was their design for a semi-automatic for World War II that they never had a chance to use. And these are all accessories for the Moss 4956. Anyway, the reason I showed you that was just to show you French rifles. I have a love for French rifles. I just think they're really cool. Sort of like that D'Artagnan-looking fellow who is always hanging around and writing really cool books on French rifles. This is called the Chassepot de Famas, French military rifles from 1866 to 2016. Really good book. I recommend getting it. Anyway, the French, they came up with many things. By the way, he says the Chassepot here. I would love to get a Chassepot. That's a needle gun. That was the French answer to the Dreisen needle gun of the the Germans, the Prussians. It was the Franco-Prussian War. The French lost it with the Chassepot, but it's still a great rifle. After that, the Gras was their black powder rifle until the development of smokeless powder. And the label is based on the Gras. This one, the Berthier, is a totally brand new departure. If anything, it takes after the sort of in between the Mauser and the Mannlicher, because it uses a Mannlicher-like feed system, but a Mauser-like bolt. But it's just an interesting thing, and I've always wanted a good Berthier carbine. I have a Berthier carbine that's in really bad shape. It was torn up by, well, the French after World War II went to reconquer their holdings in Indochina. And they were battling these little yellow brothers they called Viet Minh. And the Viet Minh, well, they were Vietnamese. They're short. They're small people. And a full-length battle rifle was really hard for them to haul around. So what they did was they would trim down a rifle to make it as small and light as they possibly can to carry around. And I have one, but it's so chewed up, I hate showing it off. And I really wanted a good Berthier carbine sort of to replace that. So if anybody wants it, I happen to have an old Berthier for trade. I won't say sale because I wouldn't sell that thing. I'd trade it though. Anyway, Berthier carbine. Very cool. It's my latest and greatest. And I like it. I like French rifles. It's my weird fetish, you know. Anyway, happy trails.